Hi Leo, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading. This week we are actually doing the monthly reading, so looking ahead at March, seeing what's in store for you. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on the updated readings. We do have the individual signs weekly as well as all signs over the weekends, and we also have those shadow work readings on every full moon as well. Okay, this week we are using, this is the Earth Wisdom Oracle. I do also have the Yin Yang Oracle, and the Lenormand deck for the week we have the Tanis Lenormand. Okay, so getting straight on into it for you, Leo. Splitting the month, start, middle, and end. What's in store for Leo in March? March 2025. What's going on for Leo in March? Start, middle, and end, please. Ooh. Some interesting energy for you this month, Leo. It is giving me a bit of an energy of, as the month progresses over March, it does start to get brighter and brighter, lighter and lighter, is what I'm hearing here. Although it does sort of start off with the grace energy. So starting the month off, we do see that grace energy. I do feel as though this is allowing yourself and others around you just a little bit of extra grace, that you may be needing to accommodate others in a different kind of a way than what you maybe want to, that you may just be having to sort of really, really restrain yourself a little bit and make sure that we are, holding ourselves to the highest standard with the way that we're interacting with others at the start of March here. I will clarify that, grace can be taken quite a lot of different ways. Clarify the grace energy for Leo at the start of March. She is grace, she is poise, so she's like a beauty queen, something about that coming through. It is a little bit of a challenge, I'm not going to lie. It does feel like it's going to be a little bit challenging to be graceful about the situation. We're starting off with the coffin. So that is the card of transformations. It has come through with the mountain as well as the moon here. Okay, Leo, so the moon is kind of your shadow side, to be completely honest, because you're represented by the sun energy. So we normally see a bright, warm, sunshine, celestial image for you, Leo. And so the moon does kind of represent a little bit more of your shadow side. So the temptation to maybe act without grace, so lashing out and things like that may be a little bit of the thing you're really needing to avoid at the start of March here, because we do see, though, it's like a transitional type period. I feel like this is all about transformation. This is endings that bring new beginnings. This is death and then rebirth, and what's being sort of transitioned, what's being transformed here. Sometimes the coffin energy can be, completely different things being transformed into completely different things. But for you here, I feel like this is a rough, hard kind of situation being transformed into another version of a rough, hard situation in a way. So it's kind of like something that already is a challenge. It's becoming a challenge in a different kind of a way. So it is transforming, but it's just like transforming into something that's just as challenging as the initial thing was. It could also be, blockages or delays. So something that, it's been delayed for a while, then maybe, oh, look, there's movement happening with that, but oh, bang, it's just turned into another type of delay. We do see a highly emotional aspect to this thing, and it's just you really needing to hold back a little bit, restrain yourself a little bit from reacting. I feel for a lot of you to like the frustration of this continuing on in a new kind of a way. It's kind of continuing on, but in a brand new kind of a way. I'll see if I can see exactly what aspect of life that is in regard to. What exactly is that challenge in regard to for our Leos? That blockage, challenge, delay. Something that it requires, hard work and patience, a bit of perseverance. Something that you've been sort of trying to get over this mountain, and then as soon as you start to think that you're reaching closer to the top, bang! Oh look, guess what's on top of the mountain? Another mountain. Yeah, so I feel as though for a lot of you, it's got to do with we have the cross here firstly. So it actually does feel like a duty or a responsibility, something that you are responsible for. Once again, though, we do see movement. We do see the rider coming through here, showing us that there is change on the way. There is some sort of news about that on the way. There may be a very spiritual component to this as well for some of you, because we do see the moon as well as the cross, which are both heavy, spiritual connection cards. So for some of you, it may be more to do with something going on, a challenge that you've been, a blockage within you that you've been sort of trying to get through. And then all of a sudden, just as you start to get through that blockage, bang, here's the same sort of blockage, but in a different kind of way, like something like that. It may have very much to do, we have the bear here as well, so it may have something to do with the way that you nurture and protect, the way that you are nurtured and protected, the way that you're able to stand strong and tall and powerful all by your own self. So for some of you, it may have to do with, your duties or responsibilities to be independent, or to be, a leader type role in something. It doesn't really want to get very, very specific there. But it's just kind of letting us know that, this is all, sounds very meh, but it's like all part and parcel of the journey. Things may start to change rapidly, but then all of a sudden, it's like we are hitting another blockage pretty much straight away kind of energy. So the blockage becomes ongoing. The second blockage, for some of you, it actually may be more connected to this message of what's seeing in the middle of the month here, because for the middle of March, we do have the rest energy, needing to take some time out, some rest, really stopping and taking care of yourself. I am picking up that for some of you that duty, that responsibility, it's like you've been having some sort of physical dilemma, physical blockage about the way that you care, nurture for yourself, protect yourself. So I am picking up that there's a couple of you where this rest period in the middle of the month may actually be a period of healing. Like on a physical level, you may just get sick, you may get the flu or something along those lines. You may just hurt yourself in some kind of a way where you are just needing to sort of rest up for a week or so. It is just the middle of the month, so but it's kind of that allowing yourself a bit of a grace period at the start and middle of March here to rest and recuperate and, do what is necessary for your own self in order to be able to get back up and try again, in the future. Because, things that, it's kind of like this energy of you've been trying to get through something in your life, and as soon as you get through that, you fall over and hurt your foot, and it takes you a week to, recover from a swollen foot sort of thing. So as soon as you thought you were about to run off and be able to start running around and doing this and doing that, all of a sudden, you've bunked your leg, and you've got to rest your foot up for a week. So it's just that kind of energy here. But ultimately, at the end of March, we do have the Truth card. So this actually does feel very, very separate. It's saying sing a song of truth. What does that mean? I'll straight away, I'll clarify that. There is some sort of truth or revelation coming through I feel as though it's kind of like because you're sitting back and observing rather than being actively involved in the things around you. You know, there is just some sort of truth bomb coming through, some sort of maybe epiphany for some of you here. Clarify the truth energy for Leo, please. Because it's kind of, you know, it's telling me, you know, rejection is God's protection. You know, we did see that cross energy as well. So there may be a reason that this is getting delayed further. There may be a reason that this mountain is on top of that mountain, because it's kind of like bringing something. You're seeing a truth of that. You know, oh, you're like, oh, well, you know, it turned out to be a good thing that I hit my leg and hurt my leg and had to rest up for a week, because, you know, now I've actually had a chance to recuperate, and it was like a forced rest where I, you know, could recuperate. And while I've had that rest, I've actually, you know, observed what's going on in my life, and I've actually came to some, you know, personal decisions or personal realizations in that time, which were not what you were stopping to rest for. And it's kind of like, if you didn't, you know, hurt that foot or whatever, you wouldn't actually stop and face those things. You wouldn't actually have dealt with those things, but you actually are dealing with those things because you know, you've been sort of forced to have this restful period of time. It does feel a little bit more enforced, all right, then, I'm not going to lie. So my personal advice is, when I feel the enforced rest kind of stuff, is, you know, plan for rest, because otherwise it will be enforced by the universe. You know, that's that kind of thing where if you don't stop, the universe will make you hit that leg and have a swollen leg for a week, you know. So you'd rather go, oh, well, you know what, I'm going to take a week off and just take a week off specifically to rest, you know, and then you may avoid the hurting the leg thing. Okay, so just a side note there. Clarifying the truth, we do see truth in yourself coming through here. You know, we've got your card, the sun, coming through. So we do have a lot of, you know, things coming to the surface, you know, a lot of warmth, bright, happy energy coming back through to you. It's like personal epiphanies, definitely. We do have the child there as well. But then that's followed by the flowers. All right. So I feel like this is you. You know, for some of you, this is directly giving to children in some kind of way, giving your time and effort to children in maybe a different kind of a way. And that's part of that epiphany of, you know, because especially we saw that bear energy, that's very nurturing energy. So like I said, that could be something to do with, you know, needing to allow that extra grace for the way that you are, you know, nurturing things and people around you. So it definitely could have to do with the way that you are, you know, parenting or dealing with children in your life, if that's the case for you. But if, you know, for a lot of you, it is going to be, you know, that little inner child, your version, you inside you, the childlike version of yourself that, you know, wants to be innocent to the way that we look at the world, and you know, find the sweetness, find the adventure, have a bit of fun with life, and just enjoy life, you know. So you really start being able to go. It's kind of like this energy. I'm getting that for a lot of you. The truth is, you finally wake. It's like you wake up and see one day, you know what, I'm sick of giving so much of my energy to, you know, things like work and, you know, all the, you know, materialistic stuff. It's time for me to start living life to enjoy it, not to go to work and just get money. You know, it feels like that kind of epiphany for a lot of you here, that it's like just seeing things in a different way that enables you to give to, you know, the joy of life, and to give to new beginnings and brand new adventures for yourself, just in general. It doesn't really feel like necessarily anything specific. It feels more just like that, you know, the childlike nature, the children just like to run and play and enjoy life and make the most out of life. And that's what it kind of feels like here, is you're really starting to give a little bit more time and energy and thought to, how can I actually make the most out of life? How can I actually get the most happiness out of life, rather than, you know, getting tied up in all these ideas of, you know, materialism, money, and, you know, what do I need to go and do, you know, responsibilities, duties, you know, those sorts of things. We're twisting the way that we're looking at things that, you know, are very mind-based, materialistic-based, duty, responsibility-based things, and moving into a zone where we're just having a bit more fun, enjoying life kind of thing. Okay. Checking in for Leo on work, career, and finances in March. Work, career, and finances for Leo in March. I am seeing a lot of distance here. I've got distance on the bottom of the deck. The first card I do have is separation, longing. But once again, it feels like that rest period. It's like I said, enforced rest. It's an enforcement of you've done too much. You know, you haven't taken any of your annual leave or anything like that. You need to take it. Enforced leave. Oh, you've hurt your foot, you can't work this week. Enforced leave. That's what that feels like. So be careful of the ego, the vanity and pride. I feel like that's kind of something that is popping up here in the great, like the grace energy here, that needing to maybe step back and not be so ego based when it comes to the people around you. You're needing to sort of step back a little bit and just allow things rather than like I have to have, my ego tells me this has to be like that and I have to do this, and responsibility, duty is kind of what that feels like. But we do also see the Kanye card. We've got deception and temptation here as well. So for some of you, there is a temptation to, not allow this grace, to not just step back and allow things to happen. So it's going to be very tempting to, ignore it a little bit here and maybe get a little bit flared up, especially with work things. You may actually be tempted to get a little bit flared up, especially if it's somebody else's ego or pride is stepping up around you this month. You may have a bit of a temptation to call them out and things like that, but you need to remember to give people around you this month a bit of a grace period, that you give them the benefit of the doubt kind of energy. All right. So that's what I'm getting from that. And also just Kanye West for some reason might be important to you this month. There might just be, I know it's obviously not Kanye, but like it does from a distance look a little bit like Kanye West to me. So that I just call it my Kanye card. Plus it's the card of deception and temptation. So if you ask me, it makes sense. But we'll have a look on love and romance for you as well. Leo, what's going on for Leo in March with love and romance? So this is part of that self-epiphany stuff for some of you as well. All right, because we do see an issue here of toxicity, bound patterns that you've been bound to. Okay, toxic patterns that you've been bound to. And we do see, the facade, the beliefs that you've had about what those, because you can kind of even see those images there, very, very similar. The two hands, being held up, toxic kind of energy. So you kind of maybe seeing through that facade a little bit here. We do have on the bottom of the deck the self-worth and expectations cards. So, finding your self-worth away from these patterns that you may have, had yourself bound by in the past. So for some of you, maybe that's why you're seeing this childlike energy, because it's like, freedom from the toxicity, freedom. I get to just be myself and play and have fun. I'm not bound to these patterns anymore. Trust. Divine timing has got your back here, Leo. All right, so things are going to happen in divine timing when it comes to love and romance. So even if it feels like things aren't going, your way with love and romance in March, you do need to just trust that the universe has got you, and things will happen when they're supposed to happen. Right now, we're, just reveling in breaking free from old patterns, I suppose, with love and romance. Okay, but you are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again soon.